Welcome to the Manifest Wellness Podcast. I am your host, Salima Pasha, Executive Wellness Coach and Business Consultant. I help women, business owners, and professionals live a life of purpose by teaching them how to manifest wellness in life, in their business, and in communication. Today, I am joined by Genta Alyssa Allen, CEO and Mindset Profit Coach, certified life coach, and certified public accountant. She has more than 20 years of experience in financial management, cost accounting, auditing, business strategy, and business planning analysis. I am so excited to have Genta on the show today because she is passionate about helping women win in business. She works with introverted women so they can become financially free.
Yes. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
So I would like you, Genta, to describe a time when you learned to use your voice effectively as an introverted entrepreneur and what that meant to you.
So, as an introverted entrepreneur, which obviously it's something that I've come more to the realization of it, in my years, most recent years of entrepreneurship. But looking back, the real test for me came with getting into entrepreneurship in the first place, right? I was in public accounting, had been in public accounting for about 10 plus years, and decided I was going to step out and go into consulting for myself. A lot of people didn't think I had what it took, couldn't do it, couldn't get it done. And that was the time when I had to really step up and kind of step out there and out of my comfort zone and just do the things that I was not familiar with. And so entrepreneurship taught me, to one, believe in myself and understanding that we all have a different journey and a different path, right, to entrepreneurship and to success in entrepreneurship. So it took me going through those processes and stretching myself and understanding that your voice is important, that you do have what it takes to be successful. It took me getting to the point where, like, okay, this is like either I sink or swim, right? And sometimes it takes getting to that point where you're like, okay, is eat or not eat? What are you going to choose? And so in those times and in those moments, you find your voice, because one, it's necessary to eat and live. And, you want to live at the level you have, or exceed beyond where you have to that date at that point, and continue to just excel and exceed. And so with me, my venture into entrepreneurship, the first I was successful, and the first few years were very successful, made more money than I've ever made in my life at that point. And I was like, wow, why didn't I do this sooner? And then obviously the last half, because I ended up having to go back to entrepreneurship, back to full-time employment, I had to kind of, just make some tough decisions. And for me, it was, okay, now that after 3 years good, 3 years bad, what are you going to do? And I decided to go back to full-time to continue to, one, get the stability of income, the benefits, et cetera, right? But my next venture, now I've have that lesson behind me, I'm going to come out stronger, and I'm going to come out with more confidence. And I realized too that if I could save women from making the mistakes that I made, right? They won't have to go through what I went through, and they can now, benefit from some of the lessons I learned and start, instead of starting where I started, they can now start way ahead of that, because now they have the clarity, they have the confidence, they know the numbers, and they have the strategies in place and systems in place for their business to be able to excel beyond where I was able to. So that's a long story. Finding my voice was just a necessity. It became a necessity.
That's excellent. And I noticed how you talked about systems and numbers. Those two things are really critical, because a lot of times people will have a vision for what they want in a new business, and they'll be a visionary. It'll be something related to their passion or their purpose. But the numbers and the systems, those are two important elements that need to be thought through, or you need to bring in someone like yourself to help you think those things through in order for you to manage for profit and longevity. Exactly. So that you're not just going out head first, starting a business that you may have to close prematurely without being prepared. So can you tell us a little bit about that and what it's like, the difference between being prepared with your numbers and your systems versus not being prepared, and a few things that women can do?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I equate not knowing your numbers, not understanding your business. I equate that to driving, getting in your car with no destination, or basically driving your car blindfolded, or any vehicle blindfolded. Just you're driving your business, but you don't know what your sales are. You don't know what your cash flow is. A lot of people go straight into debt, building up the credit cards and without a plan of like, can I pay this back? And not thinking about what happens if this doesn't pan out, how am I going to pay this back? Will it destroy me financially? And I just had a live the other day talking about like how to avoid financial crisis. And that was like at the top of the list. You have to have a plan with everything. So it's like, if you just have a business because you want to make money. Okay, well, how much? What is it going to take to make that? What are the resources you have now? If you haven't started the business yet, like what do you need to have in place to make sure that you are successful, so that what if it takes off? Do you have the means? Do you have the people or the list of the team that you're that's going to come in and help you? Like if it's your auntie, your cousins, like who's going to come and help you? If it's packaging, if it's, you need help with graphics, if it's a summit, whatever you're working with, if you don't have the means to hire, do you have the resources around you in your circle, friends or family that have the expertise that they will allow you to lean on them a little bit in your startup phase? Have those conversations ahead of time before you need it. So when the time comes, it's like, okay, I got this one in my pocket. They're going to help me if I get slammed. Because at the end of the day, what hurts a lot of businesses as well is not being prepared for the success and being able, because they haven't planned. There was a client, she was doing well, but in order for her to meet the demand, she had to think about those things. And so we had to go through that exercise. And so you have to be able to have a plan, especially if you're deciding you're going to take out debt for as long as you want that company. Whatever the plan is for that business, you have to know what that is before you start. Are you selling the business? Is that the plan? You want to build it to sell it? Do you want to build it to pass it on to your future generations? Do you know, what is the plan? Because that's all going to determine how you spend your money as well,
Right.
right? So at the end of the day, it's planning and being very strategic about your decisions and not taking, also, you know, part of planning and preparing is being able to have the resources so you don't have to take money out of the business as soon as, like, oh, you make money, you got to take money out because you need to pay a bill. Like, plan for those things. How much do you need to, what are your living expenses? What does that look 6 months, a year out? Because you want to be able to not pull out of your business that money that you're making, be able to put that into other things. Maybe it's more product, maybe it's more marketing, maybe it's a service, a closer to help you close your sales calls so you could bring in more money. So making those decisions in a strategic way that will help your business survive the first year, because the
Yes.
rate of success in the first year is so low. It's because people don't think of those things.
Right, right. That's just planning for success. Not only planning for success in the first year, like what if it takes off? What do I need? What are those resources? But then what
Yeah.
about 10 years from now? What about 15 years from now? Do you continue to be a solo entrepreneur, or, as I suggest to people, plan to have a team, to have support
Yes,
roles so that you won't burn out, so that you won't have to wear every single hat. You give
exactly.
yourself some time to reset.
Yes.
Um, and then you have that strategy to learn how to meet those people that are complementary to you, that will help you, whether it be someone who's versed in accounting or cash flow and different things like that, or if
Yes.
it's someone who can help you get on track with your mindset or your wellness.
Exactly.
People who are entrepreneurs need a team, whether it's someone that is directly, hired by them, or they're people that they consult with. They need
Mhm.
like a list of different things that they can pull out of their hat. Like, okay, I need a legal person. I need this and that,
Yeah.
and understand that that's going to be part of your budgeting structure as you move forward. So,
Exactly.
yeah, it's really good for women to get on the right foot with that. Don't wait
Oh,
until it's a crisis. Do
oh yeah.
it in the beginning.
Yes.
Um,
Start. That's the way you start off best. Set that foundation. Hmm.
right. I wanted to ask you another question. How do you teach entrepreneurs to use their voices effectively to harness and project confidence? I would think that part of it is just making sure that they sit there and assess everything that they may need, or you help them figure out what they need.
Hmm.
Once they know their needs, they're more confident in stating that or speaking up, even if they're introverted. Because I know a lot of time introverts are shy about communicating those needs because they're not sure how it's going to come across or if it's going to be right. But if they have a tailored list or some kind of system to say, okay, these are the things that I need when I'm going to start a business, they'll feel more confident about opening their mouths to look for resources.
Right.
So, what is your take on that?
In terms of introverts and how we process, we are definitely thinkers and planners. We're very analytical, for the most part, and I think sometimes people perceive our shyness as that we don't know. It isn't, and it's not so much that we don't know or aren't confident. It's that we process things differently. It takes us longer because we have to see everything along the path before we could move forward. We have to see the flow. We have to say, okay, this is going to happen and this is going to happen. So, like you say, having a list and knowing what you need to do and how you need to execute is ideal. So, in terms of harnessing your voice as introvert, I think for me, what helped me was the fact that One, I got with a great coach, right? We know Coach Sean Raiz. I cannot say enough about him in terms of how he motivates, how he shifts your mindset, how he empowers you. He gives you strategy. So you have no way or reason not to succeed. So it starts with the mindset. Once you've gotten to that mindset and understanding of your why, and you realize that it's not about you, like I had to get that. It's not about me. It's not about how you feel or you don't think. It's about the people that you're meant to serve, that are looking for you, that are like, I need someone that's going to help me with my wellness. And I'm an executive, and I where am I going to find this person? I don't know. Right. But maybe, you maybe say you didn't go out there because you didn't think people would want what you had. And then they meet you and they're like, you know how long I've been looking for this? I knew I needed something. I didn't know what it was. And so just knowing that and getting that confirmation as I go out into the social media streets, as I call them, and connect and with people, I find people like the other day, a young lady reached out to me for career coaching. She's in the field of accounting. I also help women in that area. So if they want to level up where they are in their career from an accounting perspective, like I've done it. So why not help people? And so had I not been out there, I would not have been able to help her. And so like you have to get out of your way. So that is the key for me, mindset and understanding that it's not about you.
Right.
And you just have to be able to show up, and everything doesn't need to be perfect.
Right.
It doesn't. It's all about getting to know you. And so getting out there and connecting with people is getting to know you, right? People work with who they know, like, and trust. So that's what I help people do. My clients, as they try to get out there and they're trying to develop and figure out what their strategy and plan is. And I have a email course that I'm working on, a 30-day email course that's going to be helping people basically create their own live lane, like create your own live lane. So you're creating who it is that you want to be perceived as, and you're reaching the people that need to see you and that need your services. So you just got to get out of your own way.
That's excellent. That's excellent. And I really like what you said about getting out of your own way. And it's not about you, because people really want to help others. I think we all genuinely have a desire to help others.
Yeah.
And if we know that using our voice is the only way we can do that, then that's a way to step out of your comfort zone, do it scared, and find your voice. If you stay in a bubble, you'll never be able to find your voice, or you'll never be able to figure out how to connect with people in a genuine way. Sometimes you just have to do it.
Yeah.
And I heard someone say a while ago that a lot of times, the reason why people can be really introverted or shy or nervous is because they're so afraid about how they're going to be perceived. But like you said, when you think about the other person, they're having the same feelings that you're having. What's in it for me? And then if you focus on them instead of focusing on yourself, it's so much easier to get out there.
Yeah.
Be more confident. So that's excellent. I'm glad that you're teaching women and with that focus.
Yeah. Yeah. It's important.
I have a couple of more questions. One is, what are 3 keys to business growth? I know we've kind of talked about starting. You want to start with a good plan and systems in place, and know what resources you need. But what about when you're ready to grow your business?
When you're ready to grow your business, one of the things I will say is always, so your business is growing, money's coming in. You want to understand, like really understand your business. Where are you making the money? Which products, which services are making the money for you? Which ones have the best margins and which ones are selling? You want to constantly be in a mode of improvement, right? So maybe you have a product that's selling, but it's not your money maker. But you can turn it into a moneymaker if you address the cost. You look at different aspects of that product. Okay, can I provide it in a different way if it's a service? I want to reach more people, but I'm limited on time. So as a service, maybe I need to package it differently and move from one-on-one to group or some other model. Maybe there's different types of coaching options that you can incorporate in your packaging. So you want to always be looking at what's making money for you and making sure that you're not all in on one income stream. So I think it's very important in business, in your personal life, to diversify income. So, that was one of the mistakes that I made. I had a big fat client, great fun, just consistent, but the stress and the way in which it compromised my health, I ended up having to walk away from it to save me mentally, emotionally, physically. I had high blood pressure I had never had it before. I would go home with headaches. The stress was beyond measure. I liked the people, but in terms of the management and being able to be effective, I was not able to. So I had to make a decision because at the end of the day, reputation is everything. So I say that to say, make sure that you are diversifying your income. If you have a big client, make sure you have other clients to level that off. Because if you lose that big client, you're going to be struggling at the end of the day because you got to now go find that other big client to replace it. And if you can't, you might find yourself in my situation, which was not all that good. And then, in those times when you're trying to diversify, you're connecting with people and then they want you to barter. Like, oh, can you do this for me? My books, tax returns, and all this stuff. And I'll give you something else. I'll give you the service. And I'm like, I can't pay bills with that. Right. So the other part of it is knowing your value, understanding your value, and not compromising on that, right? So you want to diversify your income, stand on your value, create value in a way that your clients perceive it to be even more than it actually is. And so they feel like you're giving them more than they even paid for. So you want to make sure that is tight and together. That is for sure. The next thing you want to do, you want to always pay attention to your expenses. Make sure you're not paying too much for things that really aren't contributing to your bottom line, right? If you could avoid taking out of your business, the longer you can, the better, right? But the other side of it is you might need help. So then you have to look at, how are you hiring help? Is it, at what point will you need to hire someone full-time? Can you go with a subcontractor in the meantime? Will that help you get to and meet the income goals that you have, and continue to stretch yourself? And lastly, I would say just something that people don't want to talk about, and they're like, but it's something that stresses people out all the time. They're like, oh my God, I can't. I'm just too much in my business. I don't know what to do. I'm doing everything. I'm like, okay, where are your standard operating procedures? It's in my head. Okay. So how can you translate that or train someone on something that's in your head? You can't. It's impossible. Osmosis doesn't work. ESP doesn't work. You have to have standard operating procedures, they call them SOPs, where you have the stuff documented. Start with the things that are taking you more time than necessary. The things that you can train someone, punch the hole, whatever it is, stick the paper in here, put the wrap things, tape the box, put the thing that. Those things are not things that a business owner needs to do. You need to be focused on things like making sure your customers are happy, dealing with every customer issue personally for as long as you can, making sure that you are pursuing other areas of marketing, right? Are you, without spreading yourself thin, are you paying attention to the right strategies? Are you putting time into the right strategies and money into the right strategies? So definitely when it comes to being able to step away from your business, you have to have those SOPs in place. I tell folks, create Loom videos if it's something that you do online. If it's something manual, put up your camera, record it, right? It's simple. You're working anyway, record it. And then as you watch the back, you're typing up, do this, do that, do this, do that. And as you update it as things, you add steps to the process. And it will save you. I mean, at that point, then it's finding the right people to hire. And then hiring right. Not because they cheap. I don't know how to say it, but hiring right. So they have the right skill set. They have the right attitude, work ethic. You want people that you can trust. So if it's someone that, you obviously one-on-one in person will have to work with, it's a little easier. If it's online, it might be a little bit more difficult. But in those instances, you ask for references, you call the references, you verify, you let them know it cannot be your cousin, your auntie, or your uncle. You make sure that these people are legit in the terms of, like, there's a lot of people working with folks from the Philippines. Make sure that they're sending you samples of their work, references to clients that they work with. Call them, email them. Are you happy with so-and-so? If you like what you see, don't be afraid to ask them. And that's how you make sure you hire right. So diversify income, make sure that you are spending the right places, hire right, set up your SOPs. And I think that's a good start, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's an excellent start. That is an excellent start. And I really like how you talked about just, as an entrepreneur, I have a focus on wellness for executives.
Mm-hmm.
And people have to understand that they can't do everything forever.
Yeah.
Establish a business with the focus in mind that you want to do the high grossing functions for your organization. You don't want to spend your time doing the lower grossing functions, because that takes away from your revenue in the end.
It does.
And we have, fortunately, so many more resources now with like Fiverr and other services that can do the more repetitive tasks, and you don't necessarily have to hire a full-time person, but that will free you up to focus on your wellness and to focus on your high grossing things that you need for your business to continue to grow and thrive in these times.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, that's critical. I'm glad that you mentioned that, the whole wellness piece, because, as entrepreneurs, that's a big part of our longevity.
Yeah.
With the business and with ourselves. We need to include that into our planning procedures. We need to include our strategies for how we keep ourselves well while we're managing our businesses and while we're growing our business.
Yeah, that's true.
So that is wonderful. Jinta, did you want to say any last words and how people can reach you? Let them know about your Instagram and, any your website and things like that.
Yeah, I right now folks can find me. I'm actually broadcasting on Instagram. Hi there, Instagram folks. So I do lives on Instagram. I do also share them on Facebook. My handle is Genta Alyssa on both Instagram, as well as I have a business page and Twitter, and they're also Genta Alyssa. Um, I also have coming up a social media TikTok versus Reels guide that I put together for busy entrepreneurs that are trying to figure out where they want to be. Do you want to be on Instagram and doing Reels or TikTok? Like, we're in a time now when, I mean, we could do marketing just like any of the big boys out there, just organically and through these social media platforms. And now is the time to utilize it. And so I put this together to make sure that, you don't have to go do a bunch of research. I did it for them. They can, right now, I'm going to be uploading on my Instagram profile the link to that. But right now, they could just connect with me through any one of those platforms. And just let me just do hashtag I want the TikTok guide, and I will definitely go ahead and share it with them. I also have upcoming a mini course, a 30-day mini course that I am doing because as an introvert, I struggle so much with this live thing. And here I am, right? I can't believe I'm here. I just cannot. So I'm put together a mini course, 30 days. It includes a 14-day brand visibility challenge that's going to take them through, basically showing up, getting the confidence and the mindset and having the strategies to just show up live and start to talk about their business in a way that will help people learn more about them, what they have to offer, and just do it with their own unique touch. And so the course is going to be create your own live lane, and it's going to be free for a limited time because I just want to help women show up more. There's so many opportunities out there that we don't even step out there and do because we feel like I'm not enough. Who wants to hear what I have to say? Trust me, there are people that want to hear what you have to say. And so it's very important that they get that. And there are so many women out there that have so much to offer, but that gets in the way, that confidence gets in the way. And so I think if I'm able to help them get to the clarity of understanding what they want to offer, who they want to talk to, and just showing them how to show up in a way that makes them feel good. And when they have these opportunities, just jump on lives and connect with people. So best place to find me right now is just Facebook and Instagram. And this was great. So thank you so much, Lima, for having me.
Thank you, Genta. I don't want it to end. I was just thinking about how, we were talking about this serious topic of cash flow and longevity and all of that. But these are things that we need to talk about. It's the backstory of the business. But once these systems and things like that are in place, then we can have fun. We can get out there and, network and be a part of our communities. But it's just important that we put all these pieces together and just, stay vigilant. So I wanted to thank everyone for tuning in today. Again, I'm Lima Pasha. You've joined us for the Manifest Wellness podcast. You can reach me for a business strategy session. Look for me at Lima Pasha MBA on Facebook, and you can find me on YouTube at Lima Pasha. So you can check out this video and others to come.
All right. Thank you.